Let me be straight with you. There's a silent mistake that millions of people over 60 are making every single day, and they don't even realize it's slowly draining their energy, weakening their body, and stealing their independence. It's not lack of exercise, it's not just aging, and it's definitely not something expensive that only doctors can fix. It's something far more ordinary. Something sitting on your plate every day. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Some of the foods you believe are healthy might actually be the reason you feel tired, sluggish, and worn out. But here's the question I want you to think about. Have you ever wondered why some people in their 70s seem full of life, walking fast, thinking clearly, waking up energized, while others feel exhausted just getting out of bed? What if the difference isn't age, but food? Tell me honestly in the comments. Do you feel more tired now than you did a few years ago? Because what I'm about to show you might completely change how you think about your daily meals. And trust me. The sixth food on this list is something most people completely ignore. Yet it has one of the most powerful effects on energy after 60. But before we get there, you need to understand something that almost no one talks about. As we age, our body doesn't just slow down randomly. It becomes less efficient at producing energy. Your cells, especially your mitochondria, the tiny engines inside your body, start losing their strength. And when that happens, even if you eat the same food as before, your body extracts less energy from it. That's why you feel tired even after eating. That's why you wake up feeling unrefreshed. And this is where things change. Because certain foods don't just give you energy, they help your body produce energy again. And the first one is surprisingly simple. Eggs. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Eggs? That's it? But here's where it gets surprising. Eggs are one of the most complete energy-supporting foods on the planet. They contain high-quality protein that helps maintain muscle mass. And after 60, muscle isn't just about strength. It's directly linked to your energy levels. The less muscle you have, the more tired you feel doing even basic tasks. But that's not all. Eggs are rich in vitamin B12, and this is critical, because research suggests that B12 deficiency is extremely common in older adults, and one of its biggest symptoms, chronic fatigue. Not normal tiredness, but that deep, heavy exhaustion that doesn't go away. Imagine a 68-year-old man. He eats regularly, doesn't skip meals, but still feels drained every afternoon. What most people don't realize is, it might not be how much he's eating, it might be what he's eating. And just adding eggs a few times a week can quietly start changing that. But here's the catch. It's not just about eating eggs, it's about what you replace. Because this is where many people go wrong. They replace real food with processed, easy options. And that leads us to the second food, oats. Now, oats might sound boring, but don't underestimate them. Oats are one of the best slow-release energy foods you can eat. Unlike sugary breakfast cereals that spike your energy and crash it, oats provide steady, long-lasting fuel. And after 60, this matters more than ever. Because your body becomes more sensitive to blood sugar fluctuations. Those sudden spikes and drops, they're one of the biggest hidden causes of fatigue. But here's something most people don't realize. Not all oats are equal. Instant oats, the kind that cook in seconds, are often more processed. They can still spike your blood sugar faster, but traditional rolled oats or steel-cut oats, they digest slower, keeping your energy stable. And this is where things get interesting, because stable energy doesn't just mean less tiredness. It means better focus, better mood, and even better sleep. Now think about this for a second. How many times have you felt tired? Not because you did too much, but because your energy kept crashing. That's not aging, that's unstable fuel. And fixing it starts here. But here's where it gets even more important. Because the third food doesn't just support energy, it protects your brain. Fatty fish, like salmon, sardines, or mackerel. Now I want you to really pay attention here, because this is something experts have been studying for years. Fatty fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and these fats are essential for brain health. But what most people don't realize is your brain consumes a huge amount of your daily energy. So when your brain is not functioning optimally, you feel tired, even if your body isn't. That mental fatigue, that fogginess, that slow thinking, it's all connected, and omega-3s help reduce inflammation in the brain, improve communication between cells, and support overall mental energy. Imagine a 72-year-old woman. She doesn't do heavy physical work, but she feels mentally exhausted by midday. She forgets things, loses focus, feels drained. Adding fatty fish just twice a week can begin to shift that. But here's the part most people miss. It's not just about adding good foods. It's about reducing the ones that block energy. And we'll come back to that, because what you remove can be just as powerful as what you add. Now let's move to something simpler, but incredibly powerful. Bananas. Yes, bananas. But don't dismiss them yet, because there's more to it than you think. Bananas are rich in potassium, which plays a key role in muscle function and nerve signaling. And here's something important. Low potassium levels can lead to weakness, fatigue, even cramps. But that's not all. Bananas also provide natural carbohydrates, combined with fiber. This means they give you quick energy without the harsh crash. They're like a gentle boost instead of a spike. And this is where it gets practical. Because sometimes the problem isn't your meals, it's the gaps between them. That mid-morning dip, that afternoon crash, that evening exhaustion. A simple banana at the right time can change how your entire day feels. But here's something even more powerful. The fifth food works at a deeper level. Spinach. Now, I know, not the most exciting food, but stay with me, because this is where things get serious. Spinach is rich in iron, and iron is essential for carrying oxygen in your blood. And here's the key point. Less oxygen means less energy. It's that simple. And mild iron deficiency is more common than people think, especially in older adults. You may not feel sick, but you feel tired, weak, low. And this is where spinach quietly helps. It supports oxygen flow, which supports energy production. But here's something most people don't realize. Vitamin C helps your body absorb iron better. So pairing spinach with something like lemon juice can actually increase its effectiveness. Small detail, big difference. Now, before we move to the final food, let me ask you something. How many of these are already part of your daily routine? Be honest, because knowing is one thing, doing is another. And now, the one most people ignore, the sixth food. And this is where everything comes together. Water. Yes, water. And I know that sounds too simple, but dehydration is one of the most overlooked causes of fatigue in older adults. And here's the problem. As you age, your sense of thirst decreases. So even when your body needs water, you may not feel thirsty. And that leads to chronic, mild dehydration, which leads to fatigue, dizziness, low energy, poor focus. And here's the surprising part. Even slight dehydration can reduce your energy levels significantly. Now imagine this. You're feeling tired all day, thinking it's age, but it's just lack of water. And this is where things change, because fixing this doesn't require money or complex routines, just awareness, just consistency. Now take a moment, think about your day. How much water do you actually drink? Not tea, not coffee, just water. Because sometimes the solution isn't complicated, it's just ignored. And now let's connect everything, because this is where most people fail. They try to change everything at once and then give up. But what if you didn't need a complete overhaul? What if you just started with one change, one habit, one food? Because small changes done consistently create powerful results. Imagine waking up with more energy, walking without feeling drained, thinking clearly, feeling like yourself again. Not younger, but stronger. And that's the real goal. Not to chase youth, but to protect your strength. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one thing from today, just one, and start there. Because the difference between staying tired and feeling alive again is often just one decision repeated daily. If this opened your eyes even a little, if you learned something new, then take a second, like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe. Because what we're building here is not just information, it's awareness. And awareness changes lives. And remember, your age doesn't decide your energy. Your habits do.